Our guest is a transformational entrepreneur whose 30-plus year career spans real estate, technology, and corporate turnarounds. His motivation and energy are contagious, and he is known for sharing his wisdom freely through engaging whiteboard mindshare sessions. He's a fund manager, real estate investor, and the host of the Good Feels Good. Why did I say Goodfellas? Well, it's similar. Good Feels Good podcast. He's preparing to launch the first ever conference for good in November 2025, which will also mark the launch of two nonprofit organizations, one honoring his Greek immigrant parents and the other dedicated to caring for injured and stray dogs in Mexico. Wow. A true community advocate. He's involved in efforts to bring the Greek festival back to downtown Tucson. Yes, I love it. And spends his time volunteering and enjoying the serenity of the ocean where he just came back from. Mm-hmm. Please welcome to the show, Peter Anadranistakis.
Peter, it's an honor to have you here. I'm so glad you're able to join us. So welcome to our No Limits Life podcast.
Thank you both so much. It's wonderful to be here.
Before we dive in, Peter A.
Yes, Peter A. My friends call me Peter A.
Before we dive in, how do you see your own life reflecting in this spirit of today's quote? The lighter your expectations, the higher your joy can soar. Happiness flourishes in simplicity, not in heavy demands.
Yeah, very appropriate quote for me today. As a good friend of Ken and mine will say, it's very serendipitous to have that. So I guess maybe I'll start with the lighter side of things. Several years ago, I began a journey where I realized that your kids don't want to clean up your mess after you're gone. You know, whether it's something that you cherish, some sort of a collection, all the stuff that particularly in North America we accumulate. So I started to purge things. I started to sell things. I started to give away things. And it took me about 3 months, and I hired some people during the day to help me. But for the most part, I got rid of just about everything in my entire life from a materialistic perspective. And I began to very much simplify. And the more I the more I sold, it felt really good to give it away, and it would spark joy to give something to somebody else. Maybe it was hockey equipment I wasn't using or things like that. But the more I gave away too, it just felt so good, and I started to feel lighter and lighter and lighter. So I would say part of the expectations portion of that quote in the beginning is I put very little expectations on others, and I just give freely to spark joy. So if I give something away to someone, I do it because it makes me feel good.
The true definition of charity, though, you know it and you feel it, and I can sense it, is not expecting in return. Whether it's a tax write-off, or when I go to give up or give stuff at Goodwill, they always say, do you want a tax,
receipt?
Yeah. And I say, no, I didn't give you this to expect something in return. So the true definition of charity is give, even if you don't have, give.
It's so true, and you don't actually understand that until you start doing it. So I used to try to give my time or volunteer for people to say, wow, you really gave us something. We couldn't have done it without you. We like all the praise and thank you. But that's actually not the right reason to do it. Now I just give freely. I don't expect a thank you. I don't expect, if somebody says thank you, it's like, oh, what a pleasure to get
so
a thank you.
There's an ego way to give, and there's spiritual way to give.
It's so beautiful you said that. I've never heard anybody say that. Yeah. That is actually very true.
So for those who are listening and watching, so what is the definition to you that ego giving and love giving? How do you differentiate one?
Great question. I think you said it best. Ego giving is for yourself to get to be seeking some sort of gratification for yourself, of lifting yourself up, whether it's in society or in a group or feeling better than somebody else. And spiritual or just love giving is just for the pure love and joy of just doing it.
And I have an example.
Still for yourself, but in it's a different mindset.
Absolutely. I have an example of that. My grandpa, when he turned 50, he lived in France and was working hard in France as an immigrant. And he went back to North Africa to live. And what happened is that he dedicated himself at the service of humanity. He would wake up every morning, early in the morning, and he would go around and give to the homeless. And that was a ritual, and he described it as it was his morning prayer.
Didn't you tell me one time he gave a shirt and he didn't have a shirt?
Yeah, he came back without a shirt, and sometimes without shoes, because he would meet so many people who needed it. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that to me is love giving. It's charity based on love. It's more of a spiritual aspect of things. Ego giving, you always want to, for instance, somebody who goes to a shelter center to volunteer, you see that person the next day saying, "Hey, you know what? I went there, did this. I went there, did this." I guess is when you hear the word "I did this," tells you that it's ego-driven. It's ego wants. Okay, love gives.
Ego wants, love gives. It's really beautiful, but one thing I believe not to overlook is the power of and the mindset of immigrants. It is something that I've experienced. I had the honor of experiencing, as did you. When you come with nothing and you have something, you'll never forget you had nothing, and I think that's why you give back so much.
And Peter, it's so interesting you say that, because that was my case as well when I came here. I think the reason for me, at least for me, is that there is this notion of the American dream. Okay, we heard it, we grew up with it. I don't know about you, but all the songs were in English.
Of course.
We listened to American songs. I used to sing, not even understanding what I was talking about, until I learned the language, and I was I really was singing this. Anyway, so we watched, all the movies were in American, and to me, America was the dream. So
of course.
To me, America was a place where I wanted to be, and it was a place where I wanted to succeed. And I attached myself with the word humiliation. If I didn't succeed, going back to Europe would signify that I fail. And that in itself would be humiliating. So I remember that all the time. That was the big prize. Whenever I felt like, losing or failing in something I was doing here, I would remember that. Hell no, I'm not going to go back and get humiliated. I'd rather stay here and try. I guess that's what happened to you too.
That's beautiful. Well, being the privilege of growing up in Canada, every TV station, every radio station is based from America, except for one, except for the CBC, the Canadian Broadcast Corporation, similar to the BBC. So all you hear about is America, America. But I think from that immigrant mindset, you learn from an early age. If your grandfather can come with nothing and make something, how did he do that? He worked hard. He saved. He gave back to his community. He sent money back to bring his brothers or sisters back. This is what my parents did. So I just said to myself, well, if I work hard, I have to succeed. I must succeed. Failure is not an option, because when you see people who come with nothing and make it, whether they have to have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever it takes, then you really start to realize you come with a grateful heart, but you come with the mindset of hard work and giving back and helping others, and somehow it just all works together.
It's so interesting that you say that, because to us, when we came here as immigrants, we always thought that working hard was something that was based on the doing aspect. You got to start at 5 a.m. and finish at 12 or finish at 9 p.m. Work 12 hours, 14 hours. That was the American way. And that's the working hard. But I think you and I came with, and all immigrants that came here and worked hard. They had this purpose, though. There was a purpose-driven sort of power within them to succeed. They were, and that for me, that was, I don't want to be humiliated. And for others, could be, I want to build something that my parents didn't have. We had a purpose. So tell us about that purpose, though, because I see so many young kids that are working, but they have no purpose. They're just working hard. But working hard can be driven by something you love. And when that happens, the effort is eliminated immediately, and the working hard is no longer valid. You're not working hard anymore. You're working with love. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's such a good question. I think we could have several episodes about this. I think that one thing people often hear me say, if you love what you do, you'll never work another
That's
day
what I
in
was
your
referring
life.
to, yes.
And I think, again, I had great leadership at home. My parents loved what they did. Part of it is they just wanted to give myself and my sisters a better life. That's all that they really cared about, and they wanted to give their family back in Greece a better life. So they brought a lot of joy to everything that they did. And so for me, I have always had that entrepreneur mindset. I've always not had the gratefulness mindset because I was stuck in the system. I wanted a better car. I wanted a private jet. I wanted a bigger house. I wanted a.
How old were you when you got here?
When I came to the United States, I started doing business in the United States around 26, 27, but I didn't immigrate to the United States till about 10 years ago. So I've been doing business here for a couple of decades before I immigrated.
I want to ask you about this entity that you come from Europe, where it's more relaxed, where we live life for life, and we get into this life of work. We live for work. Hardly ever people take vacation here because they don't have the time. They're always chasing their tails. So for me, when I got here, I was taken by that entity of, the American. It went from the American dream to the American way. And the American way was work, 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 work. And then wake up again, do it again, work, 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 do, and never be. So that element of being, which we lived with, we grew up with, I saw, my father was working hard, but he came back home and had time to story tell. We went to vacation every year, and we were living life to be. Here is living life to do. Okay, so for me, it took over. It was like an entity that took possession of my whole being, and I became an American. That's how I became an American. That the definition of being American is work hard.
When are you going on vacation?
So I had to start remembering how I grew up and what my parents were doing, and implementing that to get back to that way of life. Tell me about that.
Well, I wish I could give you great advice there, but I'll tell you what happened to me when I came to Tucson. So when I decided to make the move to Tucson, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made. We can talk about the reasons another time. I looked back and I said, wow, I'm 50 years old. When am I going to start really enjoying life? But appreciate, I love my work, so I'm enjoying life. But when am I going to really enjoy vacations? I used to take my families on vacations. I'd be working. I used to go on a vacation. I'd be working. I used to go to great cities. I'd be working and never see the sights. People would ask me, did you see this? Did you see that? The answer always was, I drove by it. I looked at it. No. So I just decided when I moved to Tucson, I'm going to take Fridays off. I work hard, but I'm going to work harder and more focused during the week. So I almost think working hard is not enough. You have to prioritize and work smarter. So I started to prioritize and work smarter. Some of it meant getting up earlier. Some of it meant doing some of my personal stuff early in the morning before the workday started. And I don't still take Fridays off, but Friday afternoon I'm off. I enjoy Saturdays and I enjoy Sundays. So I work so hard during the week because literally every weekend is a holiday.
So you created harmony.
I created that balance for myself.
Exactly.
I found a way for myself.
And that's what I call harmony, because Peter, you can be in a flow state of happiness where you feel bliss, and then you get a phone call from a client, from your wife, from your son, and that happiness goes gone, right? And that's completely destroys that balance. So I think it's to us is more, when we have multiple things. I like to, I do speaking, I do writing, I have so many things that I do, and I create harmony. Harmony it goes up and it comes down, and when harmony has the word awareness in it, where you have to, that you are depleting your physical energy, so you replete it. You fill it up, that reservoir, or the physical reservoir. Then you're aware that you're emotionally exhausted, so you go back and do what needs to be done. So emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual aspects of life, that's what we call harmony. And that's what you did. You went back and created that for yourself.
I love the word harmony. I'm going to start bringing that in, and you're right. It's, some people call it balance. I think harmony is a beautiful word, because the word harmony does spark joy. It sparks peace. But I think as we all try to reflect about our life, if we look back in the challenging times, we find that there was lessons to be learned in the challenging times. When we reflect back and we say, I had no time, when you look, or when you say now I had no time, you reflect back, it's like I actually did have time. I chose not to make that time a good use of my time, or harmonious, or to be present. It's
interesting you're saying that. Emilio and I were talking about that earlier. When people often equate time with things to do, and think to accomplish and set the goals. And so for me, time is about energy. 1 hour of time depleted of energy is non-productive. You can't perform because
1 hour of time that's a time suck is an emotional drain suck from the day. 1 hour
of full of energy time, aka have enough sleep, eat the right healthy food, exercise, and you're at the top of your game, you can accomplish so much in 1 hour. I remember when I was a director at the Miraval, I had this ritual of going before starting my shift at the fitness center. I would go to all departments and say hi to everybody, including the admin offices. And I would go to the admin offices and I would see people with a big cup of coffee and a big cinnamon roll, and then only to see them an hour later crashing. Okay? That's non-productive, no energy whatsoever. What I'm referring to, that hour of full energy hour is a lot more productive, and you can perform much better than a depleted one. So I guess that's what you learned to do, right?
Look, your life is a series of relationships, right? Now we're forming a relationship. I have a relationship with Ken, and I get energized talking to Ken. When I talk to other friends that I get energized by, some of them have asked me, what's a perfect day? Or they kind of map out what a perfect day is for them. And I used to think, a limiting belief, you can't have a perfect day every day. And you actually can have maybe not a perfect day, but a harmonious day. But it starts from a foundational level. You mentioned it. You gotta get great sleep. How many times do you talk to people that say, oh, I didn't sleep well last night? Well, to me now, I am very conscious about how do I make sure I get not good sleep, exceptional sleep.
When we don't get enough quality sleep, we tend to be drifting. When we have good quality sleep, enough good quality sleeping, we are the top of our game, and then it's important to emphasize on that. And also what you mentioned earlier, the intention. Upon arising, what do you intend to do with your life? You have another day, which is not guaranteed, by the way.
Exactly.
That's what, living with intention, that's what you've been doing. This is why you're successful, because every morning you wake up with intention. So another question that I have for you: why do you give your time so freely to those in need, both for business and energization and motivation, as well as infusing a positive mindset to volunteer and support nonprofit organizations?
It's a great question. It goes back to the beginning. When you have a simple mindset of a minimalistic life at home, first of all, everything I touch and everything I look at sparks joy. So that the mug that I use every morning to drink coffee from, the glass that I drink water from, the plate I eat from sparks joy. So everything is clean, neat, and organized and sparks joy. So I feel like my mind is less cluttered and I feel joy giving time. I'm no longer thinking about, I have all these things to do, which I do. I actually do have a tremendous amount of things to do. As they say, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person. So a lot of people ask me to help them get things done. So I help them get things done. But I'm in that moment with them because I also am energized helping them. I get that joy, but I also know my joy is coming, whether it's in the morning or wonderful sleep at night. The other side of it is really truly giving without getting anything in return or expecting anything in return gives you so much joy. It actually energizes you. And I have had the good fortune of being surrounded by great people, whether it's my parents or my community or great business leaders. Super important, who gave me their time freely. And I'm sitting there saying, why is this person being so nice to me? Why are they teaching me all of their industry secrets? Why are they doing this? They're giving me an MBA in an hour. Like they're putting me and my business 20 years ahead into the future. And when you experience that, for me, I say, rather than hoarding that information, I want to pass it on. I want to do the same for others. So people do often say, pay it forward. But I do have a lot of entrepreneurs who are stuck or have a business problem. So they come to the office and we spend half an hour together, whiteboarding, mind sharing, and solving their problem. And it's joy. If I can help somebody, it gives me great joy.
Yeah, we coming back full circle when we were talking about giving. It seems to be the core of everything we're doing.
Peter, I got a question for you. So I know you're doing this Conference for Good and Good Feels Good podcast. Why are you giving your time? I mean, why are you doing it? Why are you putting your time towards that? And obviously you're sharing a lot of your wisdom with them. So why?
Thank you. I come across a lot of great relationships every day. You're one of them. You're now one of them. You're now one of them. And from time to time, people want to become friends. And I want to become friends too. But if you keep doing that every day, you have this massive database of wonderful people that want to be friends that you absolutely fail at keeping in touch with. So how do I keep in touch with them and how do I tell them what I'm up to? So I said, well, I'm going to start a podcast and I'm going to tell them what I'm up to and I'm going to tell them what I'm learning and I'm going to tell them how I get great sleep and what I do to spark joy in my life, and having less is actually more, and all of the things that are somewhat the antithesis. Sharing wisdom, but somewhat the antithesis of what you might think brings joy in life, like a bigger, faster car or better house or whatever the case may be. So that was part of the reason I did that. And the Conference for Good just stems from, I love doing good things. I love doing good things that are within my capability. So I've tried helping people, whether it's someone who's unhoused, and I've gone down the bunny hole and I'm like, oh, I don't have a skill set for this. This doesn't actually feel good anymore. I don't know what I'm doing, and I need to pull back somehow and help them get the help that they need.
Having the awareness to do that is amazing, because most people, they want to help, but they have no ability to do so, and that makes it worse.
Right.
When you, instead of stepping back, it's like always saying yes. We talked about that, Emilio and I, earlier. That gets you in trouble. You have to
Really
be able to know when to say yes and when to say no. Actually, no is a yes for you.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can say, yes, I can do this. No, I can't do that.
Absolutely.
Yes, I can be there at this time, but I have to.
And it's it boils down to this. I mean, it's how you deliver the message.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
You can deliver a message and come across the point in a positive way, or create chaos, more trouble than it was before.
Exactly. And I'm trying to just do the conference for good, Ken, to create good. We don't know what's going to come of it. I just know if I get 12 or 20 or 100 good people in a room, there's going to be a lot of good that comes out of it. They're going to network with each other. They're going to talk to each other. But we're going to have some mandates, and we're going to figure out what we want to do that's good. But we're going to share good best practices on doing good. And maybe exactly what you said. You got to put some boundaries around.
There is a level of boundary that you need to be using and adopting. One of the things that struck me when my father is a great inspiration, a great source of inspiration. He said, if you can help one person, you can certainly help a million, and that's, so I'm going to leave it at that and wrap up. So Peter, your energy is incredible. Thank you so much for sharing, it's deeply
Thank
inspiring.
you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
So before we go, got a question for you. Is there anything that you would like to share with our audience, any updates, maybe something about nonprofits that you work with, or just anything you'd want to share? Maybe even how people can get a hold of you if they want to get in touch with you.
Yeah, I guess you and I, Ken, are involved in a nonprofit that helps others, and again, it's got to spark joy. The people have to be good. It's got to feel light. You got to walk away with energy from that, and if you're not walking around from energy from that, find something else where you are getting energy from that, or start something that'll give you energy. So I've decided to start a couple of nonprofits that we're going to launch in November. One, honoring my Greek immigrant parents and helping other immigrants in need.
What is that? What's the name of it?
It's going to be the longest foundation name ever. It's the Myron, Mario, Constantina, Dina, Anadranistakis Family Foundation.
Holy cow. I don't think we can fit that on the
You
screen.
should add a few words.
I love it. So we may add a few words. We'll take your recommendation. And then the other one, I'm not sure what we're going to call it. Had a dog, Charlotte, who just passed away, so it might be the Charlotte Foundation for Dogs in Need, and it's going to be helping dogs in Mexico specifically. That said, sometimes dogs need a little extra, and people aren't willing to go that little
Believe me,
extra.
my dog needs extra all the time.
His dog's like a family member.
Sure,
Treats.
That's a human being
treats.
right there.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we're going to do that, and that'll be launched at the Conference for Good in November. And
What about the Greek festival?
So the Greek Festival, I'm super thankful. There's an amazing Greek community here in Tucson, and there's a massive need to bring the Greek Festival back. It stopped in COVID, and when people find out I'm Greek, their first question is, when's the Greek Festival coming back? So I'm very thankful to be involved with really great folks like John Rallis and Tina Eliopoulos and Frank Eliopoulos and Billy Anastopoulos and
Those all seem like Greek names.
They're all Greek names, and they've all come together, and there's going to be a Greek festival this year downtown Tucson.
Will there be good food?
In November, there'll be exceptionally good food. Ken.
Nice.
And I'd like to invite all of you in this room to come as my guests.
I'm going.
Please.
Let's
be
do it.
honored. Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
inviting us.
Thank you.
And to all the listeners that witnessed the generosity of heart that Peter has and incredible energy, keep listening to the shows. And thank you for joining us. Please share this show with people that you know that may need it. And remember, live a life of no limits. Till the next time. Thank you.